This right here is, I'm gonna say, probably the best scope money can buy. The only drawback, besides it being a second focal plane, that I have for me personally is that the reticle. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Bushnell Prime Hunting Scope. This is going to be a very nice, budget-friendly, entry-level scope that you can put on a bolt action for your basic hunting. It's a 3 to 12 by 40 with a 1-inch tube diameter, and it's also a second focal plane. The reticle itself is going to be your basic crosshairs. There's no holdovers, but because it's a second focal plane, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Just have a deer feeder out there, 100 yards, 150 yards, just any kind of known distance. So that way, if you need to zoom in for whatever reason, you just know your true hold, which is dead center. This is not the Bushnell Prime scope. This is actually a Shepherd scope. That's going to be going on a different gun. Subscribe to watch that video. But I'm going to take this off, put this guy on using fix-it sticks so that you can kind of see how easy it is to put on. So if you do need something that's not as tedious to be putting on, this is the scope for you. Also, I will note one thing. This does not come with scope rings, so be sure to buy your own scope rings. I pulled scope rings off of an old scope, put it on here, so that's why they look the way they look. Man, it is freezing out here. Right now, it's like, last time I checked, it was 19 degrees, which is why I'm wearing this super awesome jacket. Man, my phone doesn't even recognize my face. Oh, it's warming up. It's 23 degrees. Okay, my bad. It's hot out here. Let's talk about what we got going on from the package itself. Package itself, it comes in this nice little super padded bag. These are the scope rings I was talking about. I already put them on there. They're not torqued down to spec because we'll talk about how to actually set this on top of the gun, but they're not torqued down to spec just yet. But just so I wouldn't lose them, I've got the scope rings on there already. One thing I really do love about this, which I think is great for entry level, is that it comes with its own turret caps. And these turret caps have everything from 270, 308. This is a 6.5 Creedmoor, 30-06, and you get the idea. I would say, basic hunting calibers. I mean, there's even 30-30 in here. So this is super cool because you can get a scope that is from a reputable company that's not breaking the bank, and you don't have to go look for a specific type of scope to match your caliber. It just has it right here. And if for whatever reason you take this off of one gun, put it to the other, you just change up the turrets if you need a different caliber. I think that's super cool. It comes with your basic instruction manual, which is absolutely nothing. And then it also comes with this little guy right here, which is kind of cool. It's a little cleaning cloth and a pouch. So it's like you're doing a magic trick every time. Look at that. See? Isn't that cool? And it says Bushnell on it. That's all you get. You don't get any kind of scope caps or anything. No scope rings. Nothing fancy. Like I said, that you just kind of get this to put on a basic hunting rifle. All right, let's go ahead and take this thing off. This is cleared out, by the way, just so everybody doesn't freak out on me. All right. Like I said, this is going to be going on a 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm just waiting on some bipods to come in. Once I get bipods in, we are going to have fun with that guy. This is a 5 to 25 by like 56 or something like that. So it can definitely reach out there, touch something. This is a little overkill for this guy though. This is going to be my main hunting setup here. So that's why I'm not too worried about the way it looks or anything. As long as it's functional, you know what I mean? And we will also Google the torque specs here. So what I'd like to do is set this guy up at one spot like this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. But then this guy, I'm actually going to take off these scope rings here and move the scope rings back a little bit. Now, whenever you do this, you're going to, oh, that's way too small. You're going to want a level because you want to make sure that the gun is also level with the scope. I am going to do my best to eyeball it, but I'll kind of show you guys a little trick here that I do without a level. And so far, it's actually kind of worked pretty decent for me. Ideally, what you'd like to do is take your gun, cant it just a little bit, so that the bubble is touching either the left or right side line. That way you have a constant, because you don't know if you're off by a fraction of a millimeter if you keep that bubble completely centered, but by barely touching that line, you can then match the gun level with the scope level, if that makes any sense. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to make sure that my eye relief is correct. Eye relief is basically just the distance from the scope to your face to make sure there's no scope shadow. And honestly, it's like I've done this before. That's perfect. I like that there. I will also say, be mentally prepared to change everything. I just said I'm perfect and all that kind of stuff. Keep that in mind. Okay. So as far as torques go, every company's different. So whenever you buy your thing, just make sure that you actually look at the torque specs. What I am going to do is make sure that it's, oh yeah, I told you that it goes when. So what I do to make sure without a level is I use my safety. So my safety is right here on the thumb, and I just make sure that everything's in line. And as I'm making sure that the gun is in line, I put my face down and I look right at the crosshairs, and the lines need to be absolutely perfect. And to be honest with you, it's off a hair. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen this up just so I can actually rotate it. Let me do it this way here. So I can rotate just like that. So now I am perfectly centered. And you, if you have scope rings that have 4, which with this tube diameter, I don't think you will, but if you did, you want to screw them on in a star pattern, just like you would a spare tire, changing tires on your vehicle. So just a little bit here, a little bit there, and you just want to make it as even as possible. When you start to put down some pressure, you want to make sure that the scope ring, or the scope itself, is nice and level still. So all I'm doing is I'm eyeballing the gaps here. If there's a smaller gap, I just go on the other side, and vice versa. I'm not torquing these down. I'm just getting them tight, just in case I need to still rotate this scope. But I'm kind of holding it tight. No, there we go. See, now that's what I'm talking about. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna do, it said 18 foot-pounds. This is still getting tighter, which is a good sign. There we go. There we go. All right, cool. All right, we got everything torqued down. Now we're gonna swap this guy out for the correct turret cap. We have a 308 sitting here that we're gonna be using. And the way you take this off most likely is you screw the very top, not the turret itself, but the very top. This guy comes off, and your turret should just flip off, just like that. Boom. Okay, so then, oh, my neck hurts. Then you put this guy on here. Make sure the turrets are facing the correct way. So what happens is whenever you zero this, 600, 100, so 100, so there we go. So when you zero this, you're gonna unscrew this guy again, zero it out. So that way, if for whatever reason, you know how far out you're shooting. And there it is. We got our scope mounted. We got the correct turret on there. Oh, and just like with your elevation, your windage, whenever you have your windage set, you'll loosen this up, reset your windage, because right now it's at 0, and then tighten it back down. And it's just a flathead screwdriver. Let's go shoot this thing, huh? What I'm gonna do is 0 at 25, and then take it out to 100 yards. Right now I'm just making sure I can get on paper, and then I'm gonna actually aim a little bit lower than what I'd like, because obviously going out further to a further distance will make it go higher. Okay, so that's what's going on. And we're just gonna do like 5 or maybe like 4. We'll do 4 round groups. We'll do 4 round groups. All right, here we go. We're gonna do 4 round groups. I'm just gonna aim at when we go down there to look at the targets, you'll see how I have it set up. But yeah, We're just gonna do four round groups. I'm zoomed out all the way to 3. Yep, all the way to 3. Again, second focal plane, so I mean, I guess I could zoom in, but we'll do it like this a lot better. All right, ears, eyes and ears. Okay, cool. I don't want to feed, so now you get what you pay for, folks. Let me do it like this. Let me just manually feed this thing. This also has been shot a million times. Maybe I just need a new mag, because there we go. Okay. All right, there we go. So I am way left, but I'm on paper. We shall do it again. If I'm stacking these rounds right here, if I'm stacking these, then we'll just keep it at 2. 2 round groups, just to see. Yeah, we're left. So we're gonna go, let's go right 10. So let me just double check. Yep, okay. Okay, cool. There it is. Pro tip, keep your caps off until you're done, because it's gonna be annoying constantly just zeroing and taking that off and putting that on and taking it off and putting it on. All right, here we go. Same target. Let's go right again, because it went right, but not that much. Okay, here we go. Oh, I threw that one. That one doesn't count. That one was me. I threw that one. I don't understand why this is not going. You know what I mean? Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. There it goes working. Okay, here we go. Man, I still gotta go right. That don't mean. That make no sense. I mean, it's a little bit more right. Oh, here we go. Same thing. Aha, there we go. Now we're getting there. So we'll go. This gun is annoying me. The mic doesn't help either. It's just this big old buzzing feedback. Okay, let's see what this does. All right. We are dead center. I probably center punched that, actually. Okay, so now we're going to work on our elevation. My windage is good to go. Like I said, when I get home, I'm going to loosen that up, re-zero, like put it to 0. Yeah, put it to 0. And then we think it's good, right? We still got to take it out to distance, but I got to go way low now. So what I'm going to do is, how many clicks is that? 1 click is a quarter MO. Okay, so let's go 20. Right target. Okay. Keep wanting to just breech load these. Where? I'm technically kind of where I could put it out at 100, but I want to make sure, just to make it easier when I get out to 100. You know what I mean? Okay. again. Let me just verify that hold there, or not that hold, but that spot there. Yeah, I think I'm good there. Let me just get rid of this last one here. We'll go out and check it out. And the scope rings seem to be holding just fine. Nothing crazy. Because before that would also be a problem. If you don't torque these down enough, that scope ring will move. Let me go. Okay. Yes. Okay, we're there. Let me show you. Whew, it's windy out here. Okay, let me show you what we got here. So that was my very last round when I was like, okay, good. My windage is good to go. That's where I started. Kind of worked my way there finally. And now as far as my elevation goes, that's where I'm at with my elevation. So I wanted to be a little bit low. So when we take it out to 100, these should be up here. We're gonna take that out right now to verify. Hell yeah. Oh man. It is freezing out here and it just started getting windy. I need to hurry this thing up because it sucks. I need to take a break for a second because it is so cold out here. I was gonna drive the UTV down there to set up the target and be lazy, but I needed to warm up. So I ran, I'm hoping, 100 yards down there, 100 yards back to try to warm up a little bit. Alrighty, let's see where we're at. So we're in yards. You know, I put it at 101 yards. I'll call it good. It's 101. Oh, okay. Now we're just gonna verify that we're all zeroed. Like I said, probably have to change it up just to fine tune it a little bit. But this is where we start to, how do you say, understand and deal with the fact that I have a $500, $600 bolt action and a $300 to $400 second focal plane scope. So I'm gonna understand that it's not absolutely necessary, but I am also, the targets that I'm shooting at are a simulated 300 meter target. So they're very, very small. So I figured if I can at least hit black consistently, I'm pretty much there. So that's what we're gonna be aiming for. So I think given the quality of this reticle and the crosshairs, they're a little thick. So I think I'm gonna keep it at 3. I'll see if I can zoom in. But hopefully we can see everything out there. I'll let you know here in a second. Okay. Oh yeah, let me see if I can zoom in because it's far. Okay, that's not terrible. I've seen worse. Gotta set my parallax here because it's way different now. Okay, here we go. That one was me. It's hard to oh, I'm way low. What? Shouldn't be that low. I mean, I did throw that round, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, I did throw it. I can't wait to get a quality 308 hunting rifle that I can just not have to worry about how to load this thing. All right, let's try again. better, but I do need to go up, huh? Okay. And then go up 2. I think I'm good with that. Let me just do a couple more just to verify. I'm gonna do new targets here. Still a little high. I'm there. Okay. I'm happy with that. So, final thoughts. At the time of making this video, this scope is $245. I was under the impression it was like $350 to $400, which I think that's starting to become people's top budget if you're in there for the budget friendly type of thing. So at $245, the fact that you can get multi different turrets, right, for whatever caliber you need. It is a second focal plane, but at that price range, I don't think you're trying to get a first focal plane or do anything tactical with it. I think this is geared to hunters, beginner hunters. So if you have a 12, 13, 15-year-old son, daughter that has a 30-30 or a 270 or even a 243, this right here is, I'm going to say, probably the best scope money can buy. The only drawback, besides it being a second focal plane, that I have for me personally, is that the reticle was very thick. Even zoomed out all the way to 3 power, the reticle was thicker than what I'd like it to be. There is a very small section of where it tries to be thin, but even that, it's still pretty thick. But like I said, I was shooting at 100 yards. I'm trying to hit basically a button. Whenever you shoot your varmint at 30 to 40 yards, if you shoot a deer at 100 yards, this thing is actually, it's going to be nice. It's kind of crazy that that's $240. You're going to have the Bushnell name brand on there. These guys have been around forever, so they are a reputable brand. And I like that you can actually loosen up these turrets, take everything back to zero, tighten it down without actually losing the zero that we just did. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments down below, and I can explain it a little bit better than I am now. There's also 1,000 different videos on YouTube for it, but the fact that you can actually take everything back to zero without ruining your zero. That way, if you have a known distance of 150 yards, you do the adjustments on here if you know the math for it, and then you're there. And at $245, that is absolutely outrageous. I think that's amazing. It doesn't come with scope caps or scope rings, so maybe that's where they save some money. Again, I keep saying it over and over again. I guess I have some type of, saltiness about it, but it is a second focal plane. I do like that at a $245 price range, they include parallax. That you don't see that anymore. I would say the scope market is changing, where now you're starting to get these standard things in very affordable entry-level scopes. But I'm going to say that this is an entry-level scope. This is for your first-time hunter. So again, if you have a son or daughter that is looking to get into the hunting world with you, or even just sport, like if you just want to teach your kid how to shoot, this is the scope. This one's it right here. I like this thing, and even though this is a $245 scope, this is going to stay on here for a minute. Just going to stay on there for a minute. I have a 6.5 Creedmoor that is going to be more for my tactical zooming in, zooming out, different ranges type of thing going on. But as far as hunting goes, 308, knowing that I have a deer feeder at 100 yards or 150 yards, there's nothing that's saying I can't take this out to the range, zero at 150, call it good, and then sit there. this is it right here. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you have this scope? If not, are you looking for a scope? Let me know. If there's anything else you want to know about that I haven't really covered, also let me know in the comments down below. But Bushnell, good job. This is crazy. $245. That's nuts. Anyways, see you guys in the next one. That's nuts, huh? Damn. That's crazy. Holy. Okay.